Hello and welcome. My name is Tom Shima. Over the course of 2026, I'm playing the game Persona 3 Reload. Only I'm trying something a little different. I'm going to match the pace of the game. That's right, I'm playing this game one real day at a time. Please enjoy this different take on the game in a series I'm calling Persona a Day. Hello and welcome. Thank you all so much for being here today. It's so amazing to see some returning guests, some repeat faces. It means the world to me to see somebody willing to come back and want to see what I keep doing. Thank you so much. But yes, come on in, get comfy, grab your favorite snack, grab a drink. Let's take it easy and have some more fun today. Like I like to do, I'd like to kind of go back over and summarize what we did yesterday so we're all on the same page as we continue forward with our Persona a Day series as we play Persona 3 Reload. So you might remember yesterday, we woke up after a little bit of time off recovering. We awoke in the hospital. We'd been out of it since last Thursday, so a significant, break in the action there. And we woke up to have Yukari waiting there as we awoke. She was very concerned with us, and she seemed to feel a little guilty about the way things played out. And mentioned that there were some similarities between herself and our own circumstances, so she's trying to reach out and make a connection that way. And I'd asked, and inquired on, what the creatures were that had attacked us and, just what was going on, since we're still really in the dark on all that. And she mentioned that, those details about the shadows as she identified them was going to be identified soon. So, we'll be brought into the loop sooner than later, hopefully. And, now that I had woken up, she said I was already, free and fair to go back to the dorm, so we got right out of there. When I got back to the dorm, she was already there, so we chatted briefly in the lobby. That was where I'd kind of wondered how I got out of the hospital that quickly and that easily, and she'd mentioned that Mitsuru was actually taking care of the paperwork for us, so that answers that plot hole question I was wondering about. And I was still feeling pretty tired in game, so there wasn't a whole lot else left to do. I checked the news, and it seemed fairly standard, which is always a good sign from the news, but with that, we wrapped it up, and we headed to bed early. So it wasn't a very involved day, but it kind of got us back into the swing of things, as the action seems to be, getting ready to start building up and continuing from here. So, I guess with all that, that's where we last left things. Let's see what today brings as we move on to April 18th of Persona 3 Reload in the series Persona a Day. Let's get to the game. Okay, so this is where we left things off as we were going to bed at the end of April 17th, and we'll move on to the new day. I should rest for today. And just like that, nothing new happened overnight tonight, so it was just moving on to the next day.
Yo.
Just like that, we're headed to school. Junpei here. Yo, long time no see. What's up? Did you have an upset stomach or something? Ever the optimist, Junpei. Yes, I was out 8 days with an upset stomach. Anyways, I got something to tell ya. Saying aren't you full of energy sounds a little dismissive, so let's ask him what happened. Actually. Oh wait, I'm not supposed to spill. Sorry, man. Forget you heard anything.
Jeez.
Sheesh, someone's full of energy today. I could hear you from all the way over there. Huh? You two didn't come to school together even though you're in the same dorm?
Are you stupid or something?
Ugh, I've heard enough about that. Anyway, Shima-kun, are you feeling better? Sorry to hit you with this so soon after you've recovered, but the chairman wants to talk to you today. Head to the dorm after school and come up to the 4th floor. Don't forget, okay?
What?
Hold up. Why are you being called out by the chairman? What the heck did you do? It's that vibe of getting called to the principal's office, but it seems a lot worse.
It's not like that.
It isn't, yes. It's nothing serious. Come on, we're going to be late if we stand around here talking.
And we call it a day.
Oh, Mr. Ono. That's enough about mammoths. I don't see the big deal. They're just huge elephants. Well, that wraps up the Stone Age. I'm tired of these lessons about fossils. I'd rather talk about the Sengoku era. Japanese history's not exciting enough until then. But it's what I'm paid to do, so here we are. It's not easy being an adult. Next is the Jomon period. When do the samurai get their day in the sun?
And so,
I'll just ask a question at random and call it a day. Shima-kun. The places where people dumped their waste in Jomon period. What are they called nowadays? Ooh. Well, let's think about this for a second. I would think boneyard would be more of a cemetery idea, so I wouldn't really consider tossing waste there. Middens? I don't have a frame of reference on that, really. Hovels I've always thought of as dwelling places more than waste collection places. So, my gut leans towards middens, but that's more of a process of elimination than knowledge. I guess we'll see what happens.
that's correct.
Okay, that's right. They're called middens. The word is Scandinavian in origin and means dunghill. Okay. That didn't work. Still not interested in that at all. I do want to cut in here too, just a brief note about this series. With these in-class questions and social responses, I am trying to take these all as legitimately as I can. I'm not looking up guides or walkthroughs. I'm going to play this as it happens, so I got lucky today, but I promise, this is trying to be an authentic playthrough, so I don't think I'll always be this lucky. But moving on. Ugh, I want to get to the age of katanas. Everything else is so dull. I answered correctly. Everyone in the class is looking at me with respect. And we got a little bit more charm. We're still a plain timid slacker, but every day is a step forward. And just like that, it's after school already.
Hey. Wanna walk home together?
Sure. Sure. She invited me. There's no reason to reject that. Asking why sounds like I'm looking a gift horse in the mouth, and she knows just as well as I do that it might start rumors, and there's already rumors, so sure.
We live in the same dorm and all, and I've been a little worried.
I appreciate that.
What if you pass out again on the way home? I feel responsible for that, Let me make it up to you.
I don't want her to feel like she owes me, but it is nice to spend time together.
Come on, let's go.
Let's go. No Junpei today.
Home safe.
We made it. This day's flying by.
I'm glad you're feeling okay now. Well, I guess I'll head up first.
Yes, meeting on the 4th floor with the chairman. I didn't forget.
Like I said this morning, meet me on the 4th floor. The chairman should be waiting for us.
I don't remember my bed glowing like that yesterday. What's that thing shining on my bed? Twilight fragment. That conjures up all sorts of fun images, doesn't it? A twilight fragment. I haven't seen anything like this before. I should hold on to it for now. Alright, we're supposed to head to the 4th floor. But nobody said we couldn't quite take the scenic route, so maybe we'll stop downstairs, see what's new in the world of the news. Obviously no one else is down here. They all got the memo and headed upstairs. Let's see what's on TV. Tomorrow, same time, comes the next episode of Phoenix Ranger Featherman R. Episode 9, Survive the Love Battle, Feather Owl. Don't miss it. On to today's news. Well, we got a commercial and the opening to the news. think there was much else to check downstairs. Looks fairly status quo on our floor as well. Just noticed a little bit of decor here. We've got these statues lining the steps up. A nice little touch. Makes the world feel that more lived in. Ah, she's waiting for us. Ah, there you are. Well, we don't really dare go upstairs. She's already kind of seen us.
Hey!
Come on, they're waiting for you inside.
Ah, there you are.
Chairman Akutsuki and Mitsuru and Akihiko.
Looks like you've recovered. I'm glad to see that.
Thank you.
There are some things I need to discuss with you. That's why I asked you to see me so soon after your discharge from the hospital.
I would assume there'd be some things to talk about considering everything.
Please, have a seat.
Okay.
Oh, before that. I believe I mentioned his name before, but this is Sanada-kun.
That's true. We've only seen him in cutscenes so far, so this is our first actual time meeting him.
Hey there.
Hey,
Okay, let me start off by asking you this.
formalities out of the way. Let's get down to business.
Would you believe me if I said that a day consists of more than 24 hours?
I think we've got more knowledge than our protagonist does here, but since some unbelievable things have already happened, I don't think it's fair to really, rule out believing things. So let's just say, excuse me.
That's a reasonable reaction. However, you've already experienced this truth firsthand. Do you remember the night you first arrived here?
I do. It was quite the night. We had that interesting walk with the coffins outside.
You had to have noticed the signs. Street lights going out, things that stopped working, the inexplicable appearance of coffins.
Yes, those were a few red flags I did notice, indeed.
With so many things amiss, didn't it feel like you'd stepped into a different time?
I do remember feeling like the character was taking it very well in stride and didn't seem at all scared by any of that. So yes, it was a very different feeling.
That's the dark hour. A time period hidden between one day and the next.
That dark hour. This is going to be important to remember. Yeah. It's a time between time. It's that moment between days. I guess the concept of time between days, where there's that idea of liminality get us. I don't technically get it yet. I've only been told the barest of definitions, but I like the idea of a hidden bit of time, so let's question that. How can it be hidden?
I guess it's more like something people simply aren't cognizant of.
Interesting, that hiding in plain sight idea then. If I don't notice something, then is it there or not?
But the dark hour does exist, and it occurs each night at midnight. It will happen tonight and every night to come.
Normal people don't realize it, since they're all sleeping inside their coffins. But that's not what makes the Dark Hour so interesting.
I think we have some idea what he's alluding to, don't we?
You saw them. Those creatures.
I very much saw them, yes.
We call them shadows.
Those are shadows. That confirms it. I think Yukari mentioned it, so yes, now we know officially. Those are shadows.
They only appear during the Dark Hour, and attack anyone who roams free outside the coffins.
Interesting. I hope they kind of talk to us about who can roam free outside of the coffins, since from what we saw, everybody but us seemed to be in those coffins.
It's our job to defeat them. Pretty exciting, huh?
So we're like superheroes then, patrolling the streets and keeping the unsuspecting people safe.
Akihiko, why are you always like this?
Or maybe we shouldn't glorify that.
You just got hurt the other day.
That is a fair point. Those are the real consequences that seem to get glossed over in the action. That Featherman Ranger commercial we saw, they never really got hurt, but I bet they would if, that happened in real life.
Now, he does his work well in any case. I'll get to the point. We are the Specialized Extracurricular Execution Squad. SEAS for short.
Specialized Extracurricular Execution Squad. SEAS.
On paper, we're classified as a school club, but in reality, this group is dedicated to defeating the shadows.
I wonder how we're classified on paper. I mean, as a club, but with the word execution in the title, I wonder what sort of linguistic or mental gymnastics had to go into justifying that club. I guess with the chairman's blessing, it's easy to get things done.
Mitsuru Kirijo-kun is the leader, and I'm the club advisor.
All right, I guess they'd have gone into that if I just let him talk.
A shadow feeds on the mind of its prey. The victim becomes a living corpse.
I guess a body with no mind is essentially a living corpse.
Apathy syndrome. I'm sure you've heard of it. We sometimes refer to those who suffer from this as the lost.
It's true. I feel like some point last week when we checked the news, they'd mentioned something about this strange syndrome and people being listless and just out of it. I wonder if that ties into this apathy syndrome, sorry.
They're responsible for most of the incidents on the news, if not all of them.
All right, I should just let them talk, shouldn't I? I feel like I'm one step ahead and behind at the same time. These are both interesting questions. I kind of wish I could ask both of these. Maybe I can, but it's like, we kind of have some idea how we fight them since we were able to use Orpheus and his power to fight off the shadows on the rooftop, but there's also that, what about leaving problems to authority figures? Obviously, we wouldn't be in the situation if that were an option, so it probably seems less relevant to ask about that, but the thought crosses my mind. But since they called me here to discuss this, I assume they have a plan, so let's let them discuss what they have in mind with us.
Although rare, there are those who can function during the dark hour.
Okay.
Some may even awaken to a power that enables them to fight shadows.
A power to fight the shadows. That sounds quite familiar, doesn't it?
That's known as persona, the power you called upon the other night.
Yes. Igor in the Velvet Room also talked about our persona.
Shadows can only be defeated by persona users.
All right, well, there you go. That's why we can't rely on traditional authority, I suppose.
That means you are the only ones who stand a chance against them.
Interesting call to action, then. We've got a power unique to us that can help people if we choose to put it to good use. It does kind of seem like a lot to throw at somebody and just have them expect them to understand, but they've made a pretty clear point, and the fact that we experienced all this ourselves on the rooftop kind of frames it more in context as well, so I think I see.
I'm glad you're quick to understand.
What he's trying to say is, we want you to join us.
Ah.
We've prepared an evoker for you. We'd like you to lend us your strength.
Well, they're trusting me then. And I have to return that trust, even if I'm not sure I'm ready. If they think I am, I'm going to put my my fate in their hands since they're putting theirs in mine.
I was afraid you'd say no. I'm glad to hear you're on board.
Thank you so much. Truly.
All right, nice to be needed. Nice to be trusted.
Oh, I almost forgot. About your room assignment.
Yes.
Why don't you just stay in the room you have now?
I'm okay with that.
I don't know what the holdup is, but I guess it worked out in the end.
Something tells me I should think about that a bit more, but good happenstance is good happenstance.
Hold up. But wasn't that... Oh, never mind.
Yeah, maybe I was on the right track after all. I joined Seas to fight the shadows. I can hear a voice ringing inside my head.
I am thou. Thou art I. Thou hast established a new bond. Thou shalt have our blessing when thou choosest to create a persona of the Fool Arcana.
All right. I am thou, thou art I. So iconic persona. I can't hear that and not just be in the moment here. We'll get more into what this means. The game's going to teach us, so we'll just take it as it comes here. But we have a new power. So we're rank 1 in the Fool Arcana now. And the design of the cards in this game, that's another iconic bit of imagery to me. It's like, that is the Fool Arcana. I know there are all sorts of other more traditional common depictions, but I see that, and yes, that is card 0. That was the achievement. Seize the day. I feel my inner strength growing. I recall what Igor said about the power of social links. He did mention that, yes.
Well, that's all for today.
That was quite a lot for the day.
I'll follow up with you regarding our club activities later on.
Yes, our club activities. Thank you, advisor. Certain terms that have been displayed before in messages, along with their descriptions, can be viewed by opening the menu, going to System, and selecting Dictionary. So it's nice to have that fallback in case we need a refresher on something.
I apologize for gathering you all here on your precious day off.
It seemed like this was worthwhile information to go over sooner rather than later.
Tomorrow is Sunday, so take some time to relax.
Probably would be good to relax a bit.
Well then, shall weekend this meeting?
That's right, for anybody who forgot. Jeremy Nikutsky's got that dad humor down to a T. Shall weekend this meeting?
You know, because it's the weekend?
And then he had to dive into explaining it. Maybe that's kind of part of the joke, though, when somebody has to explain that. That almost makes it funnier sometimes, doesn't it?
Shall we end? Shall week end? Get it?
There you go, yeah, see? I don't see anybody else laughing, though.
Hi, how have you been?
There's a voice we heard last week. He was the one that met us at the front desk when we arrived back on the 6th. Again, both good questions. I don't think he ever did actually introduce himself to us. We just know him as Mysterious Boy. And, I mean, he came in through the door, I imagine. So, I guess this kind of feels like a groggy answer of, and you are.
We've met before.
We have, yes. I remember.
Soon, the end will come.
Oh. That's a depressing thought. Although, they don't define what the end is. Well, what is ending? Ends aren't inherently bad. As I've said all stream, well, let's hear him out, I suppose.
I remembered, so I thought I should tell you.
Well, that's nice of him. I'm not going to be dismissive. I can't say I don't care. Let's probe for a bit more information. The end?
It's the end of everything.
Oh. Well, I guess depending on who you ask, that may be a good or bad thing. I'm inclined to think that's more of a negative, but I'm maybe a glass half full on that sort of thing.
But to be honest, I don't really know much about it.
Oh, well, I'm glad he shared what he did know with us.
More importantly, it looks like you've awakened to your power.
Interesting. So he knows about our power.
And what an unusual power it is. A power that takes many forms, yet is bound by none.
That sounds dramatic.
It might even prove to be your salvation, depending on where you end up.
I'll try to keep that in mind.
Do you remember when we first met?
I do. I signed a contract.
I expect you to honor your commitment.
I will. That's what contracts are.
I'm always watching you, even if you forget about me.
Again, it's open to interpretation on how to take that. It's like, is it good he's always watching us? Is it bad he's always watching us? He seems to care, so I'm inclined to think I'm happy to have someone watching over us. I'm happy to have all you watching over me right now.
Okay then. See you later.
See you later. I guess if you're always watching, you'll always see me, but I'll keep you in mind so I don't forget you. Oh. I guess that's how he got in. All right. So, let's get back to the desk in the basement here. That seemed like it was going to be a quicker day, didn't it? But we got quite a lot of information thrown at us at the end of the day. You know, we had our day in school. We were able to correctly answer that question in class after a little bit of critical thinking, and I'll admit, a little bit of luck. But we made it through that, and we got back to the dorm, and what seemed like it was going to be a fairly quick evening wrap-up actually was anything but. We got to hear all sorts of information from the chairman and the rest of the team about just what these shadows are. You know, this apathy syndrome that's been going around and leaving people in an odd state. We got to hear more about our personas, the same thing that Igor had referenced with us the other night. It seems that the C's members know about that as well. We got invited to join them. You know, it shows they trust us. You know, they acknowledge our power, and they hope that we can use it to help them, and it sounds like they're working on a good cause, so I have no reason to doubt or question them. We're going to be staying in this dorm, so that's nice. We do have a place that is ours. We don't have to worry about getting shuffled around, that constant move, as we're already dealing with a new place and a new school. And we ended the night there back in bed as the dark hour came up, and the mysterious boy showed up. He lived up to his name of Mysterious. He didn't even seem to have all the answers, but he seemed like he's on our side. He wasn't, super clear, but he didn't seem threatening. I guess we'll go with that. I don't want to assume something's a threat before it's actually a threat. But I guess there's that risk of blindly following and trusting something too, so we'll keep an eye on it. We'll keep the knowledge we have. Oh, and circling back, we awakened to the power of the Fool Arcana. We got to see, the iconic Awakening to a Power scene in the Persona series. I hope we can see more of those as we build more of our social links. I remembered today, and I remembered myself, that Igor had talked about the importance of social links in building our power, which is a nice commentary. That no man is an island, and it can only help to have more contacts and friends and people who are on your side and whose side you're also on. It's a mutual support system. Kind of like, thankfully, I've got all of you. I see you, my viewers and listeners and supporters out there, as a social link, and I can hopefully I can broaden that link and offer you something that you will enjoy. And I know I'm getting enjoyment out of this. I'm learning things every day about this, the whole process, the streaming. I'm getting to experience a game in a whole new way, and that wouldn't be possible without all of you here. But as far as the Persona A Day series goes, I think that's where we're going to leave things for today. We made it through Saturday the 18th. We're going to continue the journey tomorrow at the same time, 12:30 Eastern Time, as we look at Sunday, April 19th. I have to double check the calendar here. But yes, for the viewers of the Persona stream, thank you so much for being here. I hope to see you tomorrow. Goodbye. With that, we've reached the end of the day. Please look forward to next time to see where the game goes from here. This journey is being streamed live on my Twitch channel if you'd like to be there in person for the experience. Links and schedule details can be found in the description. I'll keep uploading each day's session to this channel so you can keep watching here. Once again, I'm Tom Shima. Thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you again as I continue the series, Persona A Day. What will tomorrow bring?